Hello everyone and welcome back. I hope you had a nice weekend. Now, we've spoken before about uniforms. We said that people who work in different jobs wear different uniforms. Well, in this video we're going to learn a little bit more about different jobs or occupations. Can you say occupations? Occupations. Occupations are the jobs and work that people do. So what we will learn in this video is all about the places where different people work and some of the tools and equipment that people use to do their jobs. Equipment, that's a big word. Can you say it? Say equipment. Equipment. Equipment are the things that people use to do their job or to do something. Like right now, the equipment that I'm using to teach you is a computer. That's the equipment that I'm using now. Alright, I want you to listen very carefully to the video because in our next Zoom session, we will have a little quiz and I will ask you lots of questions about these occupations, the places where they work, and the equipment they use. So listen carefully. Here we go. Police officers. Where do police officers work? Where do police officers work? They work at a police station. Police station. And what equipment do police officers use? They use a police car, a walkie-talkie to talk to other police officers, and they might need some handcuffs. So, police officers work at a police station. Some of the equipment they use are a police car, a walkie-talkie, handcuffs. Okay. Firefighter. Where do firefighters work? Firefighters work at the fire station. Fire station. That's where they stay and they plan and they prepare and they train. And if there's a fire outside somewhere, what do they use to go to the fire? What equipment do they use? Or what vehicle do they use to go to the fire? A fire engine. And what do they need to put out the fire? A hose. And another very important piece of equipment that a firefighter might need is a mask to help him breathe, because sometimes if there's a fire, there's probably going to be lots of smoke. So the firefighter needs a mask to cover his face so he can breathe. So, firefighters work at the fire station. Some of the equipment they use: fire engine, a water hose, and a mask or a gas mask. Okay, next one. Astronauts. Where do astronauts work? Astronauts work on a space station in space. Space station. And what do astronauts need to go to space? They need a rocket and a space shuttle. And What other equipment do astronauts need? A helmet, a space helmet. Special kind of helmet so they can breathe in space and so they can talk to other astronauts and they can talk to other people on Earth. And astronauts might also need some tools because sometimes they have to walk outside on the space station. If there's something broken, they go for a space walk and they try to fix the part of the space station that's broken, so they might need some tools. Can you see these tools? There's a hammer, screwdrivers, some pliers. So, astronauts work on a space station in space. They need a space shuttle, a space helmet, and some tools. Okay, next one. Doctors. Where do doctors work? Doctors work in a hospital. And sometimes doctors work in a doctor's surgery. So doctors can work in a hospital or doctors can work in a doctor's surgery. And what is some of the equipment that doctors might need to use? Let's take a look. Stethoscope. Can you say that? It's a big word. Stethoscope. Stethoscope. What else? Thermometer. Thermometer is to take your temperature to see how hot you are. So we said stethoscope, thermometer. What else might a doctor need to use? A syringe. Sometimes we might need to take an injection with medicine in it to make us feel better. So these are just some of the equipment that a doctor might use. Stethoscope, thermometer, syringe. Okay. A nurse. Where do nurses work? Nurses work in a hospital, like the doctors. And nurses also use the same equipment like a doctor. So a nurse might use a stethoscope, a nurse might use a thermometer or a syringe, and also a nurse might need to use a clipboard to write down the information about patients, people who are feeling sick or poorly or had an accident. A nurse might need to use a plaster or bandages. One more time, say with me. Clipboard, plaster, bandages. Okay, let's do the next one. Teachers. Where do teachers work? In a school. That's right, teachers work in a school. And what are some of the equipment that teachers might need to use? A whiteboard or a smart board? Stationery. Stationery means pens and rubbers and rulers and markers and sellotape. Stationery. Teachers will probably need some books as well so they can teach the boys and girls at school lots of new things. So teachers work at a school, and some of the equipment they might use: a whiteboard or a smart board, stationery, some books. Okay, next one. Builder. Where do builders work? Builders work on a construction site or a building site. Can you say construction site? Yes, lots of different types of buildings. They could be building houses or schools or shopping centres, any type of building. So what are the tools that builders might need to use? Builders use lots of equipment and they use lots of tools. They might need to use a drill, hammer, saw. Okay, so builders work on a construction site. Some of the tools they use might be a drill, hammer, saw. Okay, let's do the next one. Car mechanic. Car mechanic. Where do car mechanics work? Car mechanics work in a garage or a car shop. Sometimes we call it a garage, sometimes we call it a car shop. And what do you think some of the equipment that car mechanics might need to use to fix cars? This is a car lift. Can you say car lift? A car lift lifts the car up so the mechanic can see under the car and they can fix it. A car mechanic might need to use a spanner, screwdriver. Okay, so we said a car mechanic works in a garage or a car shop and they might need a car lift, spanner, screwdriver. Okay, let's do the next one. Farmer. Where do farmers work? On a farm, that's right. And what equipment might farmers need on a farm? Well, they might need a tractor, a rake to turn the soil over on the ground to keep the soil and the ground healthy. They might use a rake. Wheelbarrow to carry heavy things around the farm. So a farmer works on a farm. They might need to use a tractor, a rake, wheelbarrow. Okay, let's do the next one. Lifeguard. Where do lifeguards work? Lifeguards might work at the seaside on the beach, or lifeguards might work at the swimming pool. Lifeguards work wherever people might be swimming. And what do you think some of the equipment that a lifeguard might need to use to do their job? Well, a lifeguard might need a whistle. A lifeguard might need a lifebuoy. If someone is stuck and they can't swim properly, the lifeguard might throw them or give them the lifebuoy to help them float on top of the water. So we said whistle, lifebuoy, first aid kit. In this box there's lots of different things, just in case the lifeguard needs to help somebody who's hurt themselves. Inside a first aid box you might see or find plasters, creams or lotions, bandages, cotton wool maybe. So these are the things or the equipment that a lifeguard might need. Whistle, lifebuoy, first aid kit. Okay, at the beginning of the video I told you to listen carefully because in our next Zoom session I'm going to ask you these questions. I will ask you, where do police officers work? Name some equipment firefighters use. Where do astronauts work in space? Name some equipment doctors use. Name 2 places doctors might work at. Where do teachers work? Name some builders' tools. Where do car mechanics work? Name some farmers' equipment. Where do lifeguards work? Now we can take turn answering these questions in our next Zoom session. Okay, thank you for listening. Hope to see you soon.